The management of Tembo looked at the ground, looked at Hulu, looked at Barrick, said, we know this is a good deal. The structure that starts at Hulu runs right through the Tembo ground. Okay, there's absolutely zero question. There's gold there. There's a lot of gold there. You just have to spend money to drill it.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm joined today by the publisher and founder of 321gold.com. Bob Moriarty joins us now from the south of France. Bob, welcome.
It's been a long time, James.
You and I both share a client in common. That's Tembo Gold Corp. And they came out with a press release this week wherein, among other drill results, they disclosed that they had encountered 12.96 grams per ton gold over 5.54 meters, which, taken in the context of their past drilling, seems to me to confirm that they are indeed drilling in proximity to Bulyanhulu, a gold mine, which, as we both know, has been one of the most successful and reliable places to find a future gold mine. So would you categorize this press release of Wednesday as a positive development for Tembo?
I would say so, but we should backtrack a little bit and take a look at history. Now, I'm not sure you know this. I was associated with this property 20 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, exactly. The fellow who controlled the company that controlled the property, it was Lakota Gold. He had been partners with Jim Sinclair that did the deal on Bulyanhulu. Okay, and I actually went to visit the project 20 years ago. There's artisan Garimpero miners all over the place, and there is absolutely zero question there's gold there. And the artisan miners have been mining the surface for at least 20 years that I'm aware of it, probably 30 or 40 years. There is gold there. The only question is how much gold is there. And the interesting thing is that, and were you on the visit with me to Tembo?
No.
I don't remember. Okay, well, I went to see it about 10 years ago. Gold peaked in September of 2011. Okay, and it was a great time. Gold had gotten up to 1,900 and change. Silver had peaked at almost $50 in April of 2011, and everything was booming. People were throwing money at gold stocks. That's actually the worst time to ever get into a market. You do not want to get in at the top. You want to get in at the bottom. So the management of Tembo looked at the ground, looked at Bulyanhulu, looked at Barrick, said, we know this is a good deal. The structure that starts at Bulyanhulu runs right through the Tembo ground. Okay, there's absolutely zero question. There's gold there. There's a lot of gold there. You just have to spend money to drill it. However, what Tembo management realized, much to their dismay, was that after gold peaked, nobody wanted to touch gold. So in 2012, 13, 14, they looked at it and said, it is crazy for us to try to keep the doors open and keep spending money because nobody wants to put money into drill programs. So they just turned the dial down, put the pen on the back of the stove, and just relaxed for a few years. Now, the beauty is when you see the property, you realize Bulyanhulu is right next door, and when Bulyanhulu wants to expand, they're going to have to expand onto Tembo's ground. And I think they've pulled one of the most incredible moves I've ever seen. One, because they recognize, okay, we got burned last time because we were getting involved at the top. We don't want to do that this time. We want to be involved at the very bottom. And it is the bottom, period. You can write that down, you put it on a piece of paper, take it to the bank, and cash it. We are at a low. Okay, where it's going to go from here, I don't know, but it's going to go higher. So they did a deal with Barrick on ground that they didn't particularly need, okay? Uh, I'm trying to think of a good way to describe this. The Tembo ground is to the northwest of Bulyanhulu. Rather than drill off the ground right next to Bulyanhulu, they drilled a few kilometers further to the northwest because they knew the ground that Barrick was going to want first was the ground right next to Bulyanhulu. Barrick wasn't going to want to jump 15 kilometers just to find more gold because they know the gold's there in the structure. But here's the sequence. This is very important. The deal consisted of Barrick handing them $6 million cash and buying, I think there were 6 licenses. Yeah, 6 non-core licenses. They bought them outright. They owned it 100%. Barrick has committed to spending $9 million US in drilling in the next 4 years, and up to $45 million US, depending on how much gold they prove up. And I'm not sure it's easy to find, they participated in a private placement for a couple of $1 million. So the amazing thing is that Tembo did this deal when the dollar was at its peak, and they did it in US dollars rather than Canadian dollars. So it's 6 million US, or it's about 8 million Canadian in their treasury. They've started a drill program. They know they're going to hit good numbers. They're planning on doing a 43-101 for Q2 of next year. And they happen to be at exactly the right time where people are going to wake up. And it's certainly, here's what's funny, and I would encourage your listeners, go take a look at Stockwatch or Stockhouse and look at the volumes on shares yesterday. It was still absolutely minuscule, very little movement in stocks, but gold was up 52 bucks. Now, gold up 52 bucks has only happened maybe 10 times in the last 20 years that I'm aware of. $52 move. Silver was up, I think, $1.24. You don't get those moves very often. But the public has still not woken up to the fact it's an incredible opportunity to get in at the low and ride it for at least 6 to 7 months.
Okay, so then as a speculator in junior golds, how does that, in your view, rank Tembo in the universe of junior gold explorers?
Okay, here's what you have to do. You have to define investment opportunities as being part of a spectrum. And quite bluntly, and you need to go back and read the piece that I wrote on Thursday, of the 10 stocks that I wrote about, 2 of them have been total disasters, have the worst possible management I've ever seen, drove the price of stocks from 43 cents down to a penny. Those are actually the stocks that are going to go up the most.
Really?
Yeah. However, if you're interested in safety and low risk, you're going to go for the sure bets rather than the crapshoots. But when you get the kind of move that we've got coming up, even the really piece of crap stocks are going to go up. When the tide comes in, every boat lifts, even the ones that are leaky and have idiots as captains.
Okay, so you're suggesting that there is going to be a response in the junior gold sector.
500 to 1,000%, I'd say so.
Okay, well, that's pretty bullish. All right, let's talk a bit about now. You and I both share opinions, I think, about the direction of leadership in the world, and particularly as it pertains to the financial system. Why has gold not broken out of its range-bound, call it $1,200 to $2,000 range at this point, in this era of rampant, well, they'll call it quantitative easing, we'll just call it counterfeiting?
Well, you confused me. you just used a term that was really confusing. You were talking about leadership in the world.
Well, this is
What is that? I've never heard of that before.
Yes, well, we certainly seem to be suffering from a dearth of it, that's for sure.
But going back to your question, I don't pay attention to manipulation. I don't pay attention to conspiracy. I don't pay attention to what kind of stupidity the Fed or NATO is up to, because I don't think it makes any difference. We have had a major bottom in the metals every 7 years. We had one in 2001, we had one in 2008, we had one in 2015, and we've got one now. For the next 6 to 7 months, gold and silver and the shares are going to be explosively higher. And I think that's what people need to pay attention to. When you're talking about the price of gold, you're talking about two commodities. What are they?
U.S. dollars.
Okay, so you're talking about the U.S. dollar and you're talking about gold. And in fact, gold never changes its value. An ounce of gold was worth an ounce of gold 10 years ago, 50 years ago, and 500 years ago. What has changed is the value of the currency that it's quoted in, and we now quote it in dollars. So when you ask somebody when is gold going to go up, you're really asking when is the dollar going to go down.
Right. And do you have any ideas about that?
Yeah, a month ago.
Yeah. Okay, Bob. Well, let's leave it there for now. It was great talking to you, and we'll come back to you soon. Thanks for joining us today.
Okay, my friend. It's good to see you again. Take care of that shirt. It'll take care of you.
So true. Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
We'll talk soon. Bye for now.